welcome back to my channel. From the title, as you can tell, today we will be doing another TBR video. If I can say one thing about myself, I've been consistent with my TBR videos, not so much other videos, but that's okay. We're still learning, but these are some of my favorite videos to film because I just get excited looking at my shelves and figuring out what I want to read each month and just giving myself kind of a shorter little stack to choose from rather than all of my bookshelves. So every month I will go through and pick a bunch of books that I am currently really wanting to read, and then we'll narrow them down with my little TBR jar to give us some prompts to help us decide what we're going to read. So let me just give you a little run over of some of the books I have chosen for this. I decided I really need to knock down my book of the month TBR because there are quite a few I have not read yet. So I pulled off all the book of the months that I have not read, so we can be picking from these and get some of those off of there. I also grabbed a few books of series that I want to kind of start to get further in. So I have Apprentice to the Villain, which is the second book to Assistant to the Villain. I really enjoyed the first one, and I need to pick up the second one before it's going to be too long and I won't remember anything. So I have Apprentice to the Villain, and then I have Rebel Witch, which is one of my really big anticipated reads of the year. I absolutely loved Heartless Hunter. I might need to go and watch a little recap of what happened in the first one just to make sure I'm prepared for this one, but I really want to get to that because it's gonna be so good. I can already tell. I don't know if you can see. Wild Eyes, I haven't read this one yet. I absolutely loved Wild Love, and the next one, Wild Side, I think comes out tomorrow, so I'm very behind. I really need to read Wild Eyes so that I can be ready for the next one because I absolutely love the first one. I thought it was so fun, and I think the covers are so beautiful, and yeah, I love the vibes of these books. And then the next three are just ones that I really want to read that are just either standalones or, well, actually one of them's a standalone, the other two are first in series, so I'm just starting more series, but it's fine. I have God of Malice, which I still need to read. Girl Abroad by Elle Kennedy. I've never read an Elle Kennedy book, but I feel like I have a lot of FOMO because everyone's been reading her books and they just love them, and this one sounds the most interesting to me, so I grabbed Girl Abroad. And then Heavenly Bodies. This has been everywhere on my TikTok, YouTube, social media in general, saying that this is the only thing that's getting anyone out of their Throne of Glass hangover, which I feel so strongly. So I really want to pick up this one this month because I have been dying for a book that gives me the same kind of feelings and vibes as Throne of Glass, and I've heard this is the closest thing to it, so I really want to pick up this one. Those are kind of the books I pulled off to choose from because they're kind of the most on the forefront of my mind. But I'm going to do 5 prompts as always to pick and narrow down some of these books. And yeah, we're going to let the TBR jar choose. I feel like I'm rambling today. I'm so sorry. Let's go ahead and pick our first prompt. I have no idea what to expect. A winter read. That's so random, especially because it's definitely not winter anymore, but hey, I will pick a wintry read, and I actually know exactly what I'm going to pick for this because I have a book of the month book here. It's literally called A Killing Cold, and there is snow. I don't know if you can see it, but there is snow on the cover. So this is probably going to be the only one that's wintry on this TBR, which is great because I am always in the mood for a really good thriller. And I forget what the author, she's the author of another really popular thriller book. I don't remember what it's called. If I find it, I'll put it up here, but she is very famous for this book, and so she came out with this one, and I'm really excited to pick it up. I haven't read her other book, but I saw this one. It sounded really interesting. Basically, this is about a main character who meets a man who she falls desperately in love with, and she ends up going to a family cabin with him to win over his family and kind of meet everyone. And she has been getting a lot of threatening messages on her phone that we don't know who they're from or what they're about. But the weird thing is at this cabin that she goes to meet his family, she finds a photograph of herself when she was a child at this cabin. So very eerie, very weird. I just love thriller books, and I really hope that this one has a really good twist. I feel like I've read so many of them that it's kind of hard for me not to predict them. It doesn't mean I don't enjoy them still, but it is always more enjoyable when you get super surprised. So I'm hoping that's what this one will be. It's rather short too. This will be a really good one to kind of just read in between books and kind of add on to our wrap-ups. This will be the first book on our TBR. I'll put them right here. So now we'll go into our second prompt. a book with a one-word title. I only have one book with a one-word title. These prompts are making it super easy. I don't really have to decide. They're deciding for me. So the only book I have with a one-word title is Bloodguard, which I am so nervous to read this. I don't know why. My bestie read it and she loved it, and it really shocked her how much she loved it. So I'm excited. So this is like a gladiator fantasy book, which is so interesting. I've never read anything gladiator. Also, this book of the month edition is beautiful. Look at the end pages. They don't usually do anything super crazy for the book of the month books, like the sprayed edges and the end chapters are so pretty. So this sounds really interesting. I believe we're getting it kind of a man's perspective in this book is what it sounds like. The main character, Leith, he is coming to this arena to fight a bunch of gladiators to save his dying sister. And so he wants to go in, win some gold, go back and save his sister. But really what he ends up doing is losing his freedom. And so he ends up fighting over and over again with no freedom. He has to stay there and fight until he meets a princess who offers him the chance to fight and win the title of Bloodguard. And then he'll also win his freedom back. So this sounds really good. Actually, I don't think I ever really read the synopsis and understood what this was about, but it sounds amazing. The back says, enter the arena, seize 2 weapons, now try to survive. If anything, I love a high stakes action-y romantic-y book. I love politics and everything in books, but I do love to have a little romance. So if this is going to be super political and action-y, and I love trials, which is kind of giving trial vibes with a little bit of romance, I think it'll be perfect. And I think it'll be really interesting to get from a man's perspective on the romantic side. So I'm really excited actually to add this, and we will knock down 2 of my book of the month. Next, we have a book with a map. Okay, let's see. So I'm gonna go ahead and see if this one has a map, because I think it might. Rebel Witch, because I think the first one did, right? Oh my goodness, does it not have a map? Darn it. Okay, so this doesn't have a map. I believe the first one did. Does this one have a map? Okay, this one has a map. So we will be choosing Heavenly Bodies because I'm really excited to read this one. Like I said, it's getting everyone over their Throne of Glass hangover, which I desperately need. So we definitely will pick this one up. So let me just read you the back of this one in case you haven't heard about this, which is shocking if you haven't. In a world ruled by the cruel and merciless stars, Alara has been cursed by fate. A prophecy promises she will fall for a star that will kill them both. So when Arit, star of wrath and war, descends to wreak havoc on Alara's kingdom of night, she flees her home only to be captured by the neighboring Helios kingdom of light and falls straight into the arms of an enemy prince. Fearing that Arit might turn his sights to Helios next, Prince Lorenzo is forced to train Alara as a weapon, one worthy of battling against the tyrannical reign of the stars. But there are shadows even within the kingdom of light, and they threaten to reveal the darkness in Lorenzo's past and the ancient magic that slumbers in Alara's veins. And with it all comes an undeniable star-crossed pull between Alara and Lorenzo that neither can seem to resist. This sounds so good, very interesting. I am really excited to pick this up. I don't know if the other books are out in the series yet. I believe it just got traditionally published, so I'm really excited to see. I'm nervous to start another series, but I'm also really excited. So we will add this one to our TBR. That's the 3rd book we have. We have 2 more we need to choose from. Next book in a series. Well, isn't this just perfect? So, we could either do, we have 3 options. We can either do Rebel Witch, Wild Eyes, or Apprentice to the Villain. This is so hard. The way I really want to read all 3 of those. Let's see what we have here. So the only thing I'm thinking is we do have already 2 fantasy books on here. Do I really want to add another one and overwhelm myself? But I really do want to read Rebel Witch. No, we're going to choose Wild Eyes only for the sake of options and difference in genre so that I don't get bored, and maybe I'll more likely stick to my TBR that way. We're going to do Wild Eyes. That way we have a little fun cotton candy romance in the mix. So we'll choose this one right here. So I believe this follows the brother from the first one, Weston. I believe he was the brother, right, in the first one. And yeah, he has a little boy and a little girl. So he is a single dad, and a country singer is going to go to the Rose Hill record studio from the first book to get away, record some music, and she ends up falling in love with his kids, and I'm sure she ends up falling in love with him. So this will be a really fun read. I loved the first one. I cannot even tell you how much I enjoyed reading it, and I have a really hard time with romance sometimes, getting bored, but I just thought that one was so fun. I love the kids, especially the daughter in the first book was just so funny to me, and I just love when there's kids in a book. I think it's just so lighthearted and so goofy and it adds so much to it. So I'm really excited to pick this one up, and that will give us a good variety. We have a thriller, 2 fantasies, and a romance now. So now we'll pick our last book for the month. Okay, so my next prompt was fantasy of choice. So I think we might as well, let's put Rebel Witch on the TBR. We obviously have to have it, right? We're gonna have a very fantasy heavy month, which is totally fine. I absolutely love fantasy, and I'm very, very eager to get back into this book. I remember, right, we kind of left on a little bit of a cliffhanger. Like I said, I need to go rewatch a little synopsis or a little recap of the first one so that I am completely and 100% ready to go into this one, which is fine. I love watching recaps because I just remember so many things. I'm like, oh yeah, I forgot that happened, and I'm really excited to read this. This one is also a lot bigger than the first one. I was comparing them in size and I was quite impressed, so hopefully it is just as good as the first one. Sometimes I get nervous, kind of like with Fourth Wing, how the first one was so fun and we're like, oh my gosh, I've been waiting for something like this, and you read the next one and you're like, okay, not the same. I'm nervous that that's gonna be how this is. I feel like a lot of my fantasy series have been like that for me. Powerless was like that, Fourth Wing was like that, and it just kind of sucks when you think you find something that is just so amazing and the next book kind of takes it a little bit downhill, and that's just my personal opinion. But I'm really hoping that this one really lives up to what my expectations are. Maybe the problem is I set really high expectations for myself, and maybe I need to reel it back a little bit when it comes to series. But nonetheless, I'm really excited to get into this, and I'm excited to see where our story will continue. So this is our little stack we have. I'm actually so excited. This is a really, really fun stack. Just with 3 fantasy books, I really hope I can get through it. But we'll just go over. We have A Killing Cold by Kate Alice Marshall, Bloodguard by Ceci Robson, Heavenly Bodies by Imani Iru, Wild Eyes by Elsie Silver, and Rebel Witch by Kristen Cicerelli. Oh my gosh, that is such a fun stack. I'm really excited to read these. I will try to keep you guys updated on my Instagram, so make sure to go follow that if you haven't already. I'll link it down below. That is where I'm the most active with my reading because it's so easy for me to just snap a picture and give you updates or give you my thoughts, give you my quick ratings. I say this every time. I will try to be better at vlogging and making videos so that you can really see me in the middle of reading these in-depth kind of reviews and thoughts. I am a busy girl. I work a full-time job, so give me a minute. I am still learning how to kind of incorporate this into my daily life. I absolutely love doing it, but it is a little bit hard to be consistent with, but I am still trying. But go follow me on Instagram so you can get updates. Follow me on Fable. You can follow me on Goodreads too. I'm not as active on Goodreads, but Fable has been my favorite app so far for reading. So follow me there if you want to see reviews and everything like that too. But thank you guys so much for watching. I'm really excited to read these books. I love doing these videos. Thank you guys so much for being here. Let me know if you like this video, like and subscribe. Let me know what you want to see, and I'll see you guys next time. Bye.